Thank you very much for talking with this young man.
Thank you.
This movie is about this rivalry that really is just legendary.
Yeah.
What was it about the rivalry that you liked?
We know about the No Mas fight, but we don't know what happened behind the scenes. We don't really know what led to it. We don't necessarily understand the nature and the relationship between Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran, other than what they did in the ring or what they did leading up to their first and second fight. After reading the script, I was not only blown away, but I was educated. Not only about the nature of what it takes to be a boxer and how that mental intimidation does serve you in the ring, and what it does to a boxer, how it can completely take you off of your focus in your game. And I think the insult that Roberto Duran placed on Sugar Ray Leonard's wife, it angered him to the point where he felt like he needed to go in and beat him down, to fight him man to man. It had nothing to do with the strategy of his past or him boxing the way that he did before. I think the mental intimidation that Roberto Duran used is what allowed him to beat him the first time.
And you are playing a legend.
Yeah.
How do you approach that? How do you wrap your head around the whole process of that, of playing Sugar Ray Leonard?
I mean, there's a great responsibility that comes with it. So for that, I spent a year in preparation, learning to box, learning to think and move, and act like a boxer. I completely turned myself into Sugar Ray, and I would box sometimes 3 times a day. I would run throughout the day. I was probably in the best physical shape I'd ever been in my life, and that's a lot to say considering that I've been in pretty good shape throughout my musical career. But I was able to use all of these things in contrast because of the kind of agile and improvisation that I use as a dancer in the ring.
And I hear that they choreographed the fights down to specifically the way the fights really happened.
Well, you have to, because this is a story that is specifically being focused on these 2 fights. So, for those people who are coming to see the film as boxing fans, I want it to be as authentic as it could possibly be. So I studied those tapes. I studied that footage like hours and hours and hours to make sure that I got every bit of what happened, listening to what happened in the corners, looking for the footage, the behind-the-scenes footage leading up to the first fight, what happened in the first press conference, taking little pieces of that, adding that into the character. Man, I try my hardest to keep as possible. I try my best to keep as authentic to the original fights as I possibly could.
And Sugar Ray had a hand in it as well?
Eventually, I did work with Sugar Ray. I interviewed Sugar and got to know him. I knew him before, but didn't quite have this type of relationship.
You weren't about to play him.
Yeah, I wasn't about to play him, and I had a great deal of respect for him and what he represented for us as African Americans. He was a benchmark in history. To be an African American Olympic medalist who was endorsed by 7-Up and so many other people. That right there gave me some sense of hope for who I would be as an entertainer, even though it had nothing to do with one or the other. But, there's this boyish, pretty boy style that he had that it resonated with me as a kid, and you looked up to him, yeah.
Made in Hollywood.
Thanks for watching this interview. As always, don't forget to subscribe and let us know what you think in the comment section below. For the next Made in Hollywood interview, click right here. Do it. Click it.